Hello to all of you. Welcome back to Dolores Jones TV. I am Dolores Jones, the comeback coach, and I just want to spend some time with you today. I know the condition of the world is really, let's see, it's unpredictable, it's uncertain, and it is full of a lot of hurt and pain. I don't know about you, but I have family that have been touched by the coronavirus. And every time you look up, somebody else is passing away. And some of these people have lives, they have stories, they have families. I recently read about a mother of six, and she was doing great. She had beat breast cancer, and then the coronavirus took her out. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it per se, because we already know that life changes. Our lives are cyclical, they go in cycles. There's certain things that are going to happen to us. The question becomes, since we know that no condition is permanent, are you ready for the shift? Because you do know at some point we're going to beat this. And I say we because it's a collective effort. As we already know, I don't care how much money you have, I don't care who you are. Corona does not discriminate. You can't necessarily buy your way out of this. Of course, we pray. And then some of us say, well, Lord, have your way. And then sometimes God will allow, as we say, allow things to happen. And we're thinking, but Lord, I could think of some people, Lord, I want you to take, but not my mom or not my sister or not my husband or my lover. And then what makes it so much more challenging after somewhere trying to two-step. And I sometimes I struggle with that when people say, well, God allowed it. And I know about you, I don't want to hear another person tell me. Have you ever heard this one? God let your mom die because he needed another angel. Although that may be comforting, at the same time, it's a bit confusing, especially for those who haven't established their own relationship with God. And here I was thinking that I would come here live on YouTube as well as live on Facebook to talk to you about no condition is permanent. We must understand that. It may be hard to accept, but the better off we are when we try to accept it. I'm going to let you all come on in the room so I'll know that you're here. Hello to my Facebook family. How are y'all doing? Good to see you. Hello to my YouTube followers, Dolores Jones TV. 5 years ago, 45 years ago. And so that's why I can attest and say no condition is permanent, but you have to be ready for the shift. See, you can sit there and things can happen and you can decide to die with it, or you can say, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get better through this situation. All of these various different things that will come your way. Life is not a crystal ball, and I wish it was kind of like that box of chocolates that Forrest Gump talks about. He says you never know what you're gonna get, but those chocolates really are good. So today, let's just kind of look at the fact that no condition is permanent and look at what you do have and what is working. We have to get good at being grateful. Have you heard that before? Hey, Reginald Davis, how y'all doing? Have you heard of that? Get good at being grateful. Because I mean, right now you could sit there and you could pout and whatever. It's not really going to make a big difference now, is it? It says that it's streaming, and you all let me know if you can see me here on YouTube as well. And it's funny because right when I was ready to go, my light bulb. We have to become good at being grateful. And then as the serenity prayer talked about, it's like, God, grant me the serenity, the peace to things that you can change. And there's certain things that you cannot change and certain things we have to come to terms with. And then there's that grieving process where you want to be in denial. No, not my mom. Why would you take my mother, Lord? I'm 5 years old. My brothers are younger. Now, why would you take them? We need our mom. What do you mean they want another angel in heaven? He don't need no more angels. He got a whole bunch of angels. Why didn't he take this person over here who ain't got a job and who's acting crazy? Why didn't he take my ex who just wasn't no good? We could go back and forth and try to pinpoint who would like to trade places with us when we're at a point of crises. Now, let me tell y'all something. Did you know? Check this out. Chinese culture does not even have a word for crisis. Yes. If you look up the word crisis in the Chinese dictionary, you are not going to find one. Why? Because they don't have that word. The word they have is opportunity. See the difference? We're reframing some things. The word that they have, well, what is this an opportunity for? So that's what you're looking for, because right now, since you know that no condition is permanent, There's going to be another day, hopefully for you, right? Hopefully for you. But it depends upon what you decide to do with that moment. What are you going to do with that moment? Now, I'm not going to sell you some pipe dream. I'm going to say it can get easier. And I speak from experience, not losing just my mother. I lost my great grandmother. I lost the man I call my father. And when all three of those people died, I realized, I said, God, the people who love me unconditionally, they are gone. They're gone. But I'm still here, and I'm here for a reason. What is the reason I'm still here? I didn't say I'm not going to cry. I didn't even say I'm not going to pout. There's a friend of mine who wrote a book and said, how can you pray when you're pissed at God? Now, listen, God has big shoulders. God can handle anything that you send his way. That is a proven fact. But at the end of the day, God is still God. I heard this definition for faith, and I want you to write it down. Here it is. Faith is believing in the darkness what God showed you in the light. Check that out. Now that's some deep stuff right there. You got to be ready. You got to be mature. You got to put your big girl panties on. You need to tighten up some stuff. Faith is believing in the darkness what God showed you in the light. That's why you have to be ready for the shift. You know what I mean? You just have to be ready for the end. Then you have a responsibility to do something different. You're right. Super High said they are just not here in the physical. Right. I hear it all the time at church. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So we take peace. You know, people give you their condolences. They're basically saying, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, you know. But sometimes, let's be honest, when someone's going through something, you really don't know what to say. I have a colleague of mine, not one, but two of her brothers were in the hospital at the same time. And one of them passed away, and the other one, they're not even expecting him to live. And she has a PhD in this stuff. And she said, she says, she said, I never expected this. This one right here. I said, well, I'm here. Just call me, you know. And sometimes when a person is going up against stuff like that, then you have to respect the fact that you cannot talk them out of this pain. You know, yeah, you can pray for God to give them understanding and to give them peace, but you can't pray it away. There's certain things you can't pray it away. There's certain things you're going to have to walk through. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me. People can't even bury their loved ones because the coronavirus is so contagious. But I know somehow, I know some way we're going to make it. If you get that message and you grab hold to it, you say, I don't even know, but I know I'm going to make it. So then you have to put away all that dead stuff. And what I mean by that is sitting around in your nightgown all day. Right. You sitting around in your nightgown all day. Look, just leave me alone. Bring me some of my French, whatever y'all have for breakfast. I don't know what y'all have for breakfast. I've been trying to do a smoothie thing. All right. And you're just sitting there. You won't go brush your hair. You won't comb your teeth, nothing. You're just sitting there and rotting to death, as they would say, okay? But if the condition is not permanent, are you ready for the shift? Are you ready for the shift? Are you ready for the shift? Now, I want you to think about this. And as you think about that, let me tell you who I am. I'm Dolores Jones, the comeback coach. And my job is to help you bounce back better, not bitter, through life experiences and bad decisions. We can do that as long as we are willing to be shift last night. Go over to my page. I will definitely do that. And for those of you that are on my YouTube page, Dolores Jones TV, please go ahead and subscribe. And for those of you who have already done it, you got to be ready for the shift. Our parents lived through us in memories and mannerisms and so on, and which brings laughter. That's great. You got to pull upon something. Now, listen, y'all, I'm going to say this because I had some people talking about my hair and it's like, you always moving your hair. You always doing it. Listen, just stay in my eye like that. Okay. All right. And we're back. So what we're talking about is no condition is permanent. You have to be ready for the shift. Nothing's permanent. You know, one of the things I would recommend if at this time you've lost a loved one and you are in a position to go and sit with them, or, you know, I went to the morgue and the funeral home like the day before my grandmother's service, And we just sat there. We sat there and we were able to just take it all in, because the day of the funeral and everybody's going to be coming at you, half of the people you don't know, half of the people you don't like. Y'all know how it is. They show up. They show up. You be like, what you doing here? You didn't even like my grandma. You know how they do it. Okay. And that gave me some type of peace, because I was able to have that time. So right now, during these times of uncertainty, reflect on the time you did have with the person. Sometimes it's difficult to let go and to release people because we haven't done right by them. Some of us are holding grudges. And then when we get the call that they're not here anymore, now you're feeling bad. Oh my God, why did I do that? See, if anything, this particular coronavirus, I mean, it's really nothing new. It's just a different type of plague that's coming through. Now, I didn't believe I would see anything like this in my lifetime. And I'll be 50 November 5th. And I was like, what? See, I heard about all the things, the Great Depression and all these other things, but to hear that a pastor I know or a preacher I know and his son that I know, and all of a sudden now it's here in Kansas City, now it's in Kansas City, Kansas, my hometown. And I'm like, okay, God, listen. Because he sometimes when it's not close to your house, you don't really catch it. Because see, some people are so worried about what's going on in the White House. You need to be concerned about what's going on in your house. What's going on in your house? How are you handling this particular situation? Because you cannot change it. You can change. See, sometimes when something occurs and we're prepared for it, it helps us a little bit. But when something just comes out of nowhere and you get that phone call and you're looking at the phone, I remember that day, my Aunt Joyce, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a knock on the door and I opened the door and it was 2 police officers and my Aunt Joyce. And she says, Buford is gone. And I'm looking and they had to come and bring me that news. Now, of course, I wasn't, what's the word? I didn't want that, but that's what it was. And I had to step back. Bella Rose, will someone let Bella out, please? Thank you. And that was hard. Because I'm thinking, I didn't want him to die alone. Why didn't he take his medicine? You know, all these things. But what was going on, it happened. Let's be honest, everybody's going to pass away. Some of us are going to pass away soon now. You know, it was Dr. Miles Monroe who said the richest place in the world is the cemetery. Because in the cemetery, there's a cure for AIDS, there's a cure for this, and there's a cure for that. Why? Because some of us aren't willing to take risks. Some of us aren't wanting to act until there's a crisis. We have all of this time now, right? You have all this time where you can apply for unemployment and they're not even going to challenge you. They're just going to send you some money. Okay. Your employer, your former employer can't fight it. And then you have the stimulus check. I think it's $1,200 for a single person, $2,400 for a married person, $600 extra for each child under 18. Question was, are you ready for that? What are you going to do with it? Well, I didn't really have time, Dolores. I mean, I had all these kids. My job was working me overtime. Guess what? You ain't have no job right now, honey. You don't have a job. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to decide what's going to be your next move. What's going to be your next move? I know it's hard. You don't want to think about it sometimes, but you're going to have to move, honey. You're going to have to move. You have to move off that couch. You're going to have to move out from in front of that television. I know you're doing all this stuff that you have, right? Netflix and you're binge watching and all that. I get it. But after all those episodes that you feel like you have to watch, Power and all this other stuff, you're still going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision. Some people say the hardest decision they've ever had to make, years old, and she passed away. And she left 3 kids behind. And my grandmother, her mother, had to bury her 21-year-old daughter. Now, I watched my grandmother go through a lot of stuff. And that's another reason I can tell you is no condition is permanent. I didn't say it's not going to hurt. I didn't say you're not going to cry. I didn't say you're not going to kick. I didn't say you're not going to want to fight somebody. I mean, it happens, right? But what are you going to do? Are you ready for the shift? It's not time to make excuses. It's time to make moves. Make moves. And here's the thing, you don't have to compete with Dolores or Naya or Tim or Gregory or Cher. I'm not your competition. You are your competition. Are you still not following through with things? Something like this coronavirus will hit you, and you'll really see how fragile people are. You need to get your happy hips in there and get on the video, Facebook and YouTube, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Well, I broke my leg. Well, you didn't break your head. You didn't break your head. So if that doesn't fly, what's next? What you gonna do? Well, my lighting isn't right. It's not like everybody else's. Well, okay, fix it the next time. You still got a message. What are you gonna do? Hey, Harvey. Hey, Phyllis. What are you gonna do? Well, my light just went out before the video. Okay, so what? Your message is more powerful than the lights. And if somebody can't handle the fact that maybe the lighting is off, then they are not here. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. If there was something I needed, I don't care if you serve it to me on a paper plate. Who was that? Chris Rock said, pour it in my hand, okay? I'm gonna get you sucker. How much is a rib? When you want it bad enough, you're not gonna talk about, excuse me, can I have the platinum, please? No. You'll be like, hey, I got this. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go now. And see, remember I told you earlier that in the Chinese language, there is no word for crisis. And so he was talking, one of the guys was talking to his partner, and he says, hey, he says, what do you see? He said, I see a lot of kids, they're just living in poverty. The other guy, he said, I see an opportunity. So he came back to the United States, and what he started to do is he said, this is what I'm going to do. This one guy, there was two guys there. They witnessed the same thing, but one guy said, this is what I'm going to do. And the other guy said, hey, they just poor. I'm just going to keep walking down. So the guy goes, he says, he makes a prototype of a shoe, not a Nike, not Adidas. He made like a rubber type of plastic shoe. And he said, if I can make these, it's 50 cents a shoe, then I can solve a problem. He wasn't trying to get rich. He saw a problem. And when things like this happen, we're looking, you have a problem. You have an opportunity. So he goes on and he's starting to make these shoes, and someone else gets on board with his vision, and they shoes. That guy is Tom McCann. Do you remember when you were a little kid and your mom took you to get your very first pair of shoes? Little did he know, because he was concerned about the people someplace else, he made this plastic shoe, and he came back and made a name for himself in the United States of America. And anybody who was 70s babies or 80s babies, you knew Tom McCann was the shoe. That was before Nike and Let's Do It. Tom McCann was for the shoe. So no condition is permanent. In fact, there's somebody that has already peeked out your situation, and they may be trying to figure out, how can I help them? But you ain't ready. You ain't ready. You still focusing on what didn't work, and since I lost my baby. And okay, if you got to do it like that, listen, if you got to do it like that, then think about this. Give it a time limit. Okay, I'm going to cry about this like another week. And then that's it. Everything has a deadline. Everything has a, there's no magic to this. You just have to have a made up mind. And you need to make sure you have the right information. What are you thinking about? I heard someone say, who's the matter with you? Not what's the matter with you, but who's the matter with you? What are you saying, Dolores? Sometimes you're in situations and you're talking to the wrong people, and the people that you are talking to are not good for you. They're telling you about everything that's not working. But you know what? You got arms, you got legs, and if you don't, there's somebody else who doesn't have an arm or a leg, and they're still living. All you have to do is go find them. But his faith, his conviction was so strong. And after 20 something odd years, he finally came out. But he was ready for the shift. Then he became the president. He changed the whole nation because he was ready for the shift. See, you're going to find a lot of. I could sit here and say, you know what, my boot, I can't believe I fell down 6 steps, and now, I'm wobbling, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby. Not to the song, honey, but on this knee here thing, right? This knee brace. And listen, but I have to be grateful. I'm grateful I was here in my friend's place, and her and her son, they heard me when I fell down the steps, and I said, call 911. And they came down there. I was like, oh my God. And my leg was just like all over the place. It was just not cute. It wasn't cute. And I still had to find a way to get through that. So when the ambulance came and they sent in 2 workers, I heard the guy say, oh, we're going to need a couple of more people. And I made a joke. I said, yeah, because y'all can't pick up all this sexy. Just 2 of y'all. Y'all going to need about 3, 4 people. You see, it's all in your perspective. I didn't say it's not going to hurt. And I did not say it's going to be easy. What I am saying is it happens. What are you going to do today? In fact, take out a piece of paper. And as I, admonish you to take out a piece of, we can observe. I'm one of those people, I have to take notes. I have to take notes and go back and go, okay. And I want you to start writing down something that dings you. You hear me say something, you go, oh my God. Just like one of the people on here, I was telling a story about Tom McCann, and people wanted to know where he come from. He went over during a study abroad program and saw poor kids with no shoes, came back to the United States and did a prototype of a shoe made of plastic. He started sending those shoes over there. And all of a sudden, there was a demand here in the United States. And Tom McCann was the equivalent. He was synonymous with children's shoes. Now, he's gone on, of course, but he thought about that when he saw a situation. We have a situation on our hand. And I wish there was a magic button. We go, boom, don't do it. Nobody can tell you what to feel. I'm just saying, once you're done, you're mad, you're pissed off, you're angry, kicking the dog, whatever. Don't put your hands on your wife, because let me say this. Here's a sidebar. When unemployment numbers go up, so does the number of domestic violence stories, of domestic violence situations, right? And so there are kids and women who are in a house with someone who is angry and bitter. And for them, they don't have another place to go. And for some of us, you mad because somebody just took their shoes off and their feet smell like corn chips. She make me sick. Well, he make me sick. Listen, stop with all this pettiness. All right? Stop with all this pettiness. You got to grow up. You got to grow up. This is not for wimps. Yeah, you're going to feel weak. But what does your faith say? See, this is one of those situations that's going to separate some people. Don't get cocky. I'm just saying, now you'll really understand if what you believe really works for you. Is it working for you? The current belief system that you have, is it working for you? The current relationship that you have, is it working for you? Because when the rubber meets the road, you need to know who you can count on and who you have to count out. And right now, Corona, whatever you want to call her, Rona, whatever, I don't even like her. Now it has our undivided attention. And the closer it gets to home, the more attention it gets. I just saw a post of a dear friend of mine who he has played the saxophone all over the world. And now he's in the hospital in a coma. And I'm praying with everybody else here in Kansas City and around the world. And I'm like, God, please, young man. I said, no, God, he has to be able to play again. This doesn't even make sense. But my arms are too short to box with God. So my job is to say, okay, God, listen, I'm going to need you to help a sister out. And right now, God, I might be a little mad at you. Okay. You can't lie about it. Just talk about it. Honestly, I'm really mad right now. I don't appreciate this. Why'd you have to do that? God, I'm really mad. I'm never talking to you again. And you're going to have people who are going to say that I don't believe in God anymore. Okay. Does that help your situation? Well, I never believed in God. Okay, but here's the thing. I ain't got nothing to do with that. As for me and my house, I will serve the Lord because it has worked for me for the last 40. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button. All right. Thank you. Southern California is in the building. I got to say hello to wherever it started. It all started on Facebook with my fams. Hey, Labert. Hey there, Antony and Nana and all of you all. Click, tag, and share. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. We're going global, y'all. We're going global. Don't let the small numbers fool you, baby. Don't forsake your humble beginnings, okay? Because this is where you really find out who's down for you. This is the foundational part. So what? You just had a great idea, and everybody you thought that was going to buy your cookies didn't buy your cookies. You need to sell them cookies to the people who are going to buy your cookies. In fact, if you send me some cookies over here, I'll buy some of your cookies. I want y'all to talk back to me right now. No condition is permanent. What's your next move? So you lost the job. You know what a job is? A job is used with technology the way it is. You know, I had some people hating on me, but she should do this because y'all know my situation with I still want my money. Okay. Well, she should have done this. And I was like, miss me with all that. You should have caught me when I didn't know who I was. Kick rocks with open toe shoes on, okay? No condition is permanent. Now listen, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. I want you to hear that. Suicide is a permanent decision about a temporary situation. Believe me, I know what it feels like. I've walked through that. I've sat through that many times and almost lost my battle with depression back in 2015. What am I really concerned about? What am I really worried about? Especially here with the corona. Okay, because now corona has your attention. And I'm not saying you sit around and read all the headlines because it's going to happen. But what is it you're really concerned about? Okay, so you write it down. I'm concerned about. Okay. So then, what will you do if what you're concerned about happens? What are you gonna do? Well, okay, she died. Let me see. Well, I want you to think about that. Studies have shown, job just over broke. Studies have shown that 85% of what we worry about never happens. Some of us think about some of that stuff. What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, so the worst thing happens, what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? I don't know. You need to know. You need to know. And here's the thing. You only need to know it for that day. You don't have to project it for a whole month out. You know, my son is 21, and during the times we were struggling, remember, no condition is permanent. We're struggling. I got my, my master's degree, and just going through some stuff. And I'm going to share something in just a second. But and my son would look, and I knew the conditions weren't going to be permanent. So when I dressed up like $1,000,000 because my grandmother taught me to do that. She said, actually, whenever you feel your worst, that's when you really need to dress up. Okay. You need to come on out of them sweatpants. Come on up out of those sweatpants and that t-shirt. Come on up out of it. Right? And position yourself, as TD Jakes talks about. You got to reposition yourself. Yesterday I was on the couch. Tomorrow I'm going to be in the chair. The next day I'm going to be in my car. You want to take baby steps. The whole goal is for you to move. Are you ready for the shift? Are you ready for the shift? Things are happening around you. Change is always occurring. Just right now, because the loss is so massive, everybody's paying attention. Everybody watching me. Y'all know that, okay? And since you know that it's going to happen and it's happening in front of us, we can't fight about, no, put the virus back in the bag. You know we would do that, right, if we could, but we can't. So what's your shift? What are you going to do? These are questions that only you can ask and answer. You know what I mean? Sharice distancing. People can't be all up on you, and that's a good thing because some people try to get up on you and you don't even want them, right? And then now some of us need to realize when the lights is on and everybody's happy. But now is the time to find out, are you in this relationship for real? Are we in it to win it? Or do I need to make a different decision? I heard a guy who was saying something. He said he wasn't worried about a girl being pretty. And I said, well, what is he talking about? He said he want to know if she'll change his diaper. I said, oh, now he's telling the truth, because listen to this. I've worked in a nursing home as a director of social services, and there are people that change people's diapers. Okay. Who will change your diaper? Lord, what you talking about? Who's gonna change your diaper? As I'm sitting here nursing this broken leg, this right leg, and they took the staples out. It was pretty banged up, y'all, but I still got a foot. Hello, that's what's up. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I want some water. And I think about, okay, well, I don't want to wake them up, but how am I get back down the steps to get the water? And then it's like, oh my God, now I'm hungry. Okay, what are you gonna do? And thankfully, everybody in the house is playing team. I look up, here comes my breakfast, here comes my lunch. But then it's like, okay, Dolores, go downstairs and you're gonna have to hop and hobble or whatever and wobble to that chair and make your smoothie. And some days I can do it faster than others. Okay, now you got to take a shower. Now you got to wrap that leg in a trash bag and don't let the water get in there. You're like, okay. Then that pain shot through my foot and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Jesus. But it changed. It changed. I think Super High said something. He said, we manifest what we want into existence. In other words, we bring about what we think about. Whatever you think about, you're going to bring about. If you think this is it, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. How is it going to serve you? How is it going to serve you? Okay? You can be creative. You can be creative. You can be creative. And in being creative, you can cry. I want to tell the men, I think it's all right when a man cries. Anybody else, do what you need to do to take care of you. Take care of you. They said, take care of number one. Remember, if you're on a plane and it's about to go down, listen, you need to put the mask on yourself first in order to help everybody else. And your outcome does not have to be their outcome. Just because y'all started together does not mean it's going to end together, because everybody gets to decide what it is they want. And if you're not going in that direction, then listen, bust a U-turn, honey. Right? We got to bust a U-turn. Here's the other thing. Now you got all this time away. What should you be doing right now? Are you ready for the shift? Because you can go online right now. I think even Yale is giving out a class on happiness for free. So don't tell me that there's no opportunity out there. No condition is permanent. None. Ask the young man who went to prison. I can't remember his name right now, but I'll find it for you guys. He was a young African-American young man, and he couldn't read. So he's in a penitentiary, and an older gentleman who was there, he told him about stocks and bonds. And so what the young man did is his cellie, being his roommate, knew how to read. So he would have his cellmate read the newspaper to him. Okay. Finally, he starts taking classes while he's in the penitentiary. He learns to read. Eventually, he gets out of the penitentiary, and this young man, he's an African-American young man, he starts his own business, teaching people, especially prisoners that are coming out, teaching them how to invest. He was ready for the shift. Are you ready for the shift? Are you just sitting there shitting on yourself? I should do this and I should do that and I should have done that and I should and I should and I should have. Stop shitting all on yourself. I said shoulding all on yourself. All right, Rosemary, Ohio is in the building. Steve Priestley, Pastor P, said Satan's words are against you. God's word is for you. What you say is the deciding factor. Exactly. This is a mind thing, honey. As I often say, wherever your mind is, that's where your behind is going to follow. That's where that song came out and it said, your body is here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Ladies, can I get a witness? And you be like, I don't even know why I'm here with Jesse. Because I really want to be over there with Joseph. And if you're not careful, you done call Jimmy, you done call Joseph, uh, child. Anyway, y'all know the J's. Y'all okay? Don't play crazy. Don't play crazy. Use the good sense that the good Lord gave you. Think if your life stayed the same for the rest of your life, like right now, like everything you didn't want, and you listen, change is good. No condition is permanent. This is a time for you to look at your passion. What are you passionate about? It's also a time to look at your power. What's your power? Look at your purpose. Why are you still here? Now, there are some people who aren't even here now, right? So, why are you still here? What makes you so special that you didn't leave? I know it wasn't for you to stay here and raise hell. Some of us have second and third and fourth chances. Hey, Belle Rose, what are you still here for? Who can you go and be a blessing to right now? Who do you need to call? Man, I wish I would have called him that one day because that was the last time I saw him. Who do you need to call? Well, I don't want to be the first person to call. Why can't they call me? What difference does it make? Call. Well, I still want to hold my grudge because you remember back when we were in high school, yeah, and she took my man. And girl, listen, let me tell you something. If the man went with her, he wasn't yours in the first place. Because nobody can take a grown man. If the man wants to go, he will go. Okay, I don't care. Listen, don't get me started. You could have a gold mine down there, okay? But if the man's ready to go, he's gonna go. So stop playing the game. Stop playing the game. Stop playing the game. Quit shooting on yourself. I should have did that. I knew it. I knew it. Well, since you knew it, now you know it. So do it something different. I know it now. I shall do it something differently. I'm not getting ready to argue with you anymore. Mm-mm. I'm not gonna let my blood pressure go up. I'm not doing all that with you. I ain't doing all that with you. I'm done with that. I'm done. Ain't nobody doing all that with you. Ain't nobody got time for this. I'm done. What you mean you done? Baby, I done talk about this for the last 25 years. And if you still talking about something for the 25 years, baby, I don't even know what to tell y'all. I don't know if it's age or just some things that I witnessed, but I'd be doggone if I'm gonna sit up in a situation with somebody for 25 years and they raising hell and putting me down and all this other foolishness. Are you serious? Come on now. Come on now. Let's talk about this. You sitting there mad at him. Both of y'all getting old. You trying to stay for Social Security benefits. I know what I'm talking about. I was married for 7 years. I was trying to do extra 3 to get that Social Security benefits. I said, Lord, if I don't get up out of here, I'm gonna end up in the penitentiary. And Oprah Winfrey didn't go through the penitentiary, and so therefore I'm aspiring to do what she did. So I need to shift. You got to be ready for the shift. You got to understand. Don't let those distractions destroy you. There are distractions out there, things that are distracting you from what is really supposed to be happening with you. And I'm not saying that it's easy. Do you understand? It's hard. And if it's hard, do it hard. Because anything worth doing is worth doing badly, even if it's a video, right? You can sit there and you can think about all the things you don't have. But right now, I want to know what is working for you, honey. And pay attention to the questions. Wilt thou be made whole? There's a man sitting by the pool of Bethesda for 38 long years. You know, 38 is a long, long time. I don't even want to give you 38 minutes talking to me, honey. Okay, you better be glad if you get off 38 seconds. But 38 years by the same pool, a Bethesda, and every time the water troubled, people would step over this person and leave him laying there. And finally, Jesus comes up on the scene. I love Bible stories. Don't y'all love Bible stories? Okay. He comes on the scene and he looks at the man and he says, Wilt thou be made whole? Wilt thou be made whole? He said, Do you want to be made whole? The man said, Every time the water is troubled, somebody gets in front of me. That wasn't a question. The question wasn't who's stopping you from getting in the water. The question was, do you want to be made whole? Finally, when he paid attention to the question, he said yes. He said, pick up thy bed and walk. Now, I don't know about you, but I probably would have been crawling or something. I've been rolling in the water. I would get down at least a little closer, just crawling like a baby on my belly. I don't know. But at the right time, it was his time. And this is somebody's time right now. This is your time. No condition is permanent. It's just not. Well, listen, my time is about up with you. And I plan to come back more frequently. I'm not going to use my broken leg as an excuse because it's going to heal. So should I miss out on all this time to share and to encourage others because my leg is broken? I'm not the first person who broke their leg. And I know I won't be the last person. And when you're thinking about your condition, which is not permanent, it may be inconvenient, it may be uncomfortable, it's a lot of things, but your condition is not permanent. It's not permanent. So if you feel yourself tripping, you will go Google somebody and say, I remember so-and-so's story, and yeah, I remember what she did. Oh, okay. And think about that. Think about the situation you're in. And then I want you to think about, do you know anybody who may be experiencing that right now or somebody who experienced it before? Do you? And then what do you think they did? Because you're looking for the person who is being successful, right? Successful. So then success leaves clues the same way. I don't care what you're going through. Do you know there's somebody who could take your situation and win with your hand and you be sitting there being mad? It happens all the time. People grow up in the ghetto together. You look up, the same person is still sitting there in the same seat talking about, oh man, what's going on, man? It's good to see you, man. Hey, how you doing? Man, I'm just sitting here on the corner. Two people came from the ghetto. One went on and did great things. The other one's just still sitting there looking crazy. No condition is permanent unless you make it permanent. You allow it to take over you. You allow it to consume you. This is your opportunity. Like the Chinese, they don't have a word for crisis. It's opportunity. It's a snowstorm. Opportunity. It's an earthquake. Opportunity. It's an opportunity. What are you going to do with it? Let me know. You can inbox me on Facebook. Dolores Jones is my name. I'm the comeback coach. Or you can also leave me a comment right now on my YouTube channel, Dolores Jones TV. That's right, Dolores Jones TV. Decide what it is you want to do and act now. NOW. No opportunity wasted. No opportunity wasted. Make moves, not excuses. Bust a move, make a move, not excuses. We got about 4 more weeks of being home. This is called divine time management. This is time management. These are your time management opportunities. You don't have all day. You don't even know if you have tomorrow. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you what it's about. No condition is permanent. You need to be ready for the shift, baby. Remember, faith is you believing what God told you in the light when it's dark outside. It's easy to be excited when life is good and it's grand. But that's not where your power is. What are you going to do when it gets hard and uncomfortable and inconvenient? And you got to cry or else you would die. What you going to do? Now listen, you ain't got to tell everybody because everybody don't care. And it's not everybody's business. Some things you need to just find out who's in your corner. And sometimes it's going to be you and God. That's it. I had to learn to stop oversharing. I love to share and I love being vulnerable. But then I've learned, don't overshare, Dolores. Stop being, don't do all that oversharing, because for some people, they can't handle the truth. And then there are people already going to troll you. They're going to follow you and tell you what you're not. The question becomes, well, what are they doing? Absolutely nothing. So don't even get caught up on that. All right. So let me see some of your comments here on my YouTube page, which is Dolores Jones TV. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. All of those of you over there on the Facebook, I need you to come and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Dolores Jones TV. Hit the notification button, please. And you'll be notified when I'm on live. I tackle all kinds of situations, women's relationships, drama, truth, whatever. Yes, someone said we need people who can change the world, not imitate what was already done. That is true. Queen Rachel, hello. Victoria, hi, honey. How you doing? Is that Sanasha? Lynch is the last name. If I butcher your name, baby, it's not personal. I just don't, in these contexts, I got to get them working. Maybe the writing is too small because I was like this. What is that now? They say when you get older, your age happens. I had to what did she say? Okay. All right. We're blessings by being an example and having a testimony. That's right. Someone said, what in life can you possibly need if God has already given it to you? Please, can you talk about investing? Well, Nana, that's not my area, but I can talk about investing your time, right? Somebody wants a ROA, which is a return on their investment. So while you're sitting at home and you have somebody who just knows you can do it and they want you to take time right now and they've invested their time, that's your greatest commodity, your time. The amount of time that you give someone, you cannot get it back. Just think about it. The last thing those people did, okay? The last thing that you would do, the last thing that you're doing tonight, are you going to be okay with that if that was the last thing you could do? I would be okay. You're right, Rosemary said, I have to stop oversharing and rescuing people. Congratulations. Because some of the people that you're trying to rescue wouldn't try to rescue you at all. Because some people will use you until they have no use for you. And they'll use you up and then look at you like you're crazy. Talking about what? What's wrong with her? Why is she acting like that? You're like, because I gave you my last dime and now I need a place to stay and you won't even pick up the phone. You won't even pick up the phone. You can't even say hello to me. Right? Let some of this stuff go. It doesn't matter anymore. Is it going to matter 5 days from now? Some of this stuff doesn't even matter 5 minutes from now. Don't get stuck there, honey. You have so much to offer. You have so much to offer. So much to offer. Why waste it? We all have the same amount of hours in a day. It's 24 hours. From the Poe House to the White House to your house. 24 hours in one day. What are you going to do with these 24 hours? What did you do with today? Are you pleased with it? Are you ready for the shift? See, when you shift, you in a car. I had a BMW one time, honey. They said that's the ultimate driving machine. And I have to say, yes, it is. Listen, I got to shift in that car and honey, it was powerful. It was powerful. Sometimes that shift comes, you got to be ready to roll. You got to be ready to go. You got to buckle up your seatbelt. That what you've been praying for, you've been asking for, and the opportunity presents itself. You're my hour. I was what? I was still crying over that other job that I had. And I don't know why. You ever just try to go get your job back? I tried to do that. I just go get, I really want this job in radio. Can I have it? No, you can't come back up in here. Why? Because you're bigger than that. And so whatever excuse you have been using, Corona has helped you out. Corona, honey. Corona. And I'm not talking about the beer. Corona is here. So what are you going to do? Be ready for the shift, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Be ready for the shift. Be ready for the shift. And in the meantime, get yourself together. Think about what you're thinking about. Think about what it is you're thinking about. Who's the matter with you? Not what's the matter, but who's the matter with you? Because sometimes what's the matter with you is the who that you're spending your time with. Come on and get up on it. Come on and get up on it. Get busy now. Get busy now. You got plenty of time, honey. You got plenty of time. I don't want to hear about, well, while I was off work, Dolores. No, I'll just say you don't want to succeed. That's all you need to do is say, I wasn't serious. I didn't want to succeed. Just go ahead and say it. I didn't want to. I was afraid of success. Whatever it is. But don't sit there trying to lie. Okay. Don't sit there lying and say, I didn't want to. I wasn't interested. Yes, you were. Somebody told you you couldn't, or you just decided you was going to accept it. Who said that? Let me say this in my last 30 seconds. I was sitting there and I was thinking about why bullies are so effective. And this is just my theory. And I started thinking, some bullies or people who say mean things to you are effective because you may feel bad about yourself. And what I mean by that, there's an African proverb that says that there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. So here's the thing. If I know who I am and you come up and you start saying crazy things to me, if I really believe what you're saying, then it's going to have more power over me. Does that make sense? See, if I'm not feeling attractive and you come up to me and you say you ugly, then I may get mad because I'm feeling the same way. Or if you say you ugly, I'm just like this. Baby, it's not what you're called, it's what you answer to. The difference, you see the difference? So just kind of take some time and weed through some stuff and be ready for the shift. Be ready for the shift, honey. Be ready for the shift. Just like you got a raincoat for the rain, honey. You got gloves and a shovel for the snow. What do you need in this season in your life? What do you need right now? You need to put it on, strap it up, biblical people. Put on the whole armor. Be mindful of what you listen to. Be mindful of what you let your kids listen to. Be mindful what you sit there and ruminate on. Okay, there's a coronavirus. Now what? Now what? Now what? Get busy. There are kids who need lunches. You can pack lunches. The world doesn't stop just because of this virus. The world is changing, but it doesn't stop. Comprende? I know you understand. You're very smart, and I appreciate it. Thank you all for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Dolores Jones TV. That's me. The comeback coach, loving to show you how to bounce back better, not bitter. Through life experiences and bad decisions, I'm going higher, and I hope that you want to go with me too. Facebook, you know I love y'all. Make sure y'all come on over here, Facebook, and make sure you subscribe to Dolores Jones TV. Hit the notification button because I have some other good stuff coming on board, honey. I can't tell y'all what to do, and then I don't do it. Y'all be like, she's tripping. No, I just listen. Okay, so to reset, one can also start by selling clothes, longer wear on the internet. Absolutely. I think that place is called Posh, Posh. Yeah. Salute to you also. Salute to you. You all have a wonderful evening. I think it's about 8:30, something like that. Thanks for watching. Cultural knowledge, true knowledge was more valuable. They don't worship money as we do in Western culture. You are so right. Knowledge brings wealth, especially if you use it. Right? It doesn't make sense to have a gun, you got bullets, and you don't know how to use it. But here is your powerful weapon. Shake your money maker, baby. It's not your hips. I like that song though. Your money maker is up here. Make up your mind. How you gonna go through this? All right. Erica Malone, classmate. Mwah. Good to see you, honey. Bye-bye, everybody. Make it a wonderful night. Bye-bye. Facebook.